What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Homie Hangout, where we help others move in excellence. And today I'm going to talk about a neighborhood which I believe is the only neighborhood in the Bay Area, probably in Northern California, in which folks that are raza identified as both blood and Crip and Northern, same hood, right? And if you're from the peninsula, in particular in the Bay, this sign behind you gives you a pretty good hint, talking about C Street. And so my knowledge of C Street goes back a long ways, right? And I've had various connections to C Street, so to speak, over the years. It's not my hood. I never claimed C Street, but I'm familiar with them, and it dates back to the '80s in Juvenile Hall. And notice a quick footnote: I'm talking about C Street, not C Street 500 block, right? This is long before 500 block was ever a thing. There is no 500 block on C Street. That's a whole separate squad that linked up with C Street, and that's perhaps a whole nother video, right? And I'm not going to get much into the indictments in this video, the South City indictments. I was actually an expert for defense attorneys in that federal RICO case. 2010, 6 people got shot, 3 people got killed. So I worked on that case. That was the first federal case I ever worked on. And I got all the paperwork from it and all Tanachi telling and Jones telling and the whole nine, right? I was retained on behalf of BG Campos and Vicious Ortiz, but again, that's another story. And if you guys are interested, leave a comment, man. Maybe I'll do a video on that and kind of run it down. But anyways, back to the '80s, right? Late '80s, early '90s. So the first person I ever meet from C Street, first time I ever hear C Street, is in Juvenile Hall, Hillcrest, right? San Mateo County's Juvenile Hall, the old one. And I meet this dude, Wino, Armando Arce. I believe I talked about him before in a video, my first day in Juvenile Hall video, actually. He's mentioning that. He wanted becoming a very good friend of mine for many years, right? He's passed away now. He got killed in the city over in the Tenderloin years back. But so I meet him. He's a blood. Right now, he's Mexican and Eskimo. A Meximo, of course. And so, but he was a blood, right? And he was from C Street. And he was with it. Like he was with the business for C Street. He had, I don't want to say authority there. That's not my place to say. But he was reputable, right? He was respected. He was a factor in the streets. And so I meet him and I'm like, okay, cool. And so I kick with him. I meet some other cats from C Street, but they're Northerners, right? They're Northerners and they're in the Juvenile Hall. And the North thing was fairly new to the Bay Area. This is early years, right? And so I meet them, and there's a bunch of them. There's Rico, Woody, who's actually humped in the comments before. I crossed paths with him, briefly a couple times in the hall. Handful of cats, right? Handful of cats there, 4 or 5 of them that wound up making the rounds at that time through Juvenile Hall. And keep in mind, man, we all live there, right? You go to the hall, you get out, you go back. And anybody that's done time in Juvenile Hall, I think this is true for other areas as well. You get to meet people from other spots, right? And when you're a roughneck kid and you're kind of in the streets and homeless, I was homeless a lot. Then you connect on the streets, but more often you connect in Juvenile Hall, and that's how it was for me, right? And so there's these Northerners, and then I'd say maybe like a year later, right? So again, it's late '80s, early '90s, and they all got along, right? Like, Wino rock with them, they rock with Wino, they was folks, and C Street was always with the business, from my knowledge and from my experience and from what I observed, right? And was never the biggest hood, right? But was the dominant hood in South San Francisco for a long time. And I know there's different opinions in later years with CPL and all this, but they were with it. And I think one of the advantages they had is they kept it close to the vest. You had to be from C Street, which is just a little block that comes up, turns around, and comes back. And so one way in, one way out. Some old housing authority as apartments and duplexes and stuff. You know, it was low income for the area for sure. But you had to be from there to claim there. You know, and so that didn't really apply to some of the other neighborhoods where you could be from, you know, blocks and blocks away or whatever. They were larger and they had hitters within those hoods, but they also had some folks that wasn't really, you know, cut from that cloth. Um, you know, small neighborhoods and contained neighborhoods don't necessarily have so much of that issue. So anyway, C Street was with it. They all rocked together. And they put C Street above anything else, right? In my experience of knowing them and seeing how they operate. But so, and you would say, okay, cool, you know, Mexicans and you know, it's all red and it's, you know, the early days and we're kids, man, like this young kids, 12, you know, probably younger actually. Um, and so, but then I'm in a cell and I'm gonna go move in with this other person right in the hall. They're like, oh, you know, do you want to go move in with so and so? And Jeff Dela Cruz was his name. And I was like, "Oh, sure, you know, and my celly's like, oh, he's from C Street. And I was like, oh, I'm cool with people from C Street. Like I know people from C Street, right? And hadn't had any bad interactions in the hall. So I was like, yeah, that's dope. And I go move over there and at Hillcrest, you used to be able to get this colored poster paper, right? So you want to put pictures up on your wall, you put these big colored poster papers up there, and that's your backdrop for your pictures and whatnot. So of course, you know, some cats have red backdrops, some have blue. And we had Crips up there, right? No black ones, but polys and Asians and people always say there's no Bloods and Crips in the Bay Area. That's not true. You know, maybe I'll do a video on that. Leave a comment and kind of explain why there's no real solid black, you know, Blood and Crip presence in the Bay Area, but there are other groups and whatnot. And so, because there's a story there, right? So, anyways, I go and he has blue poster paper, and I'm like, well, that's weird, right? Why you got blue paper? He from C Street. Got to be a Blood or a Northerner, right? No, he was a Crip. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, man, I'm a Crip. And I was like, bro, hold on. Do you know Wino? And he's like, yeah, man, that's my homie. How, how's that your homie? He's from C Street. That's my homie. How are you a Crip? And he's a Blood, and you guys get along. We from C Street. How'd you become a Crip? Like, who jumps you in as a Crip when you're in a neighborhood that's Northerners and a Blood? I don't think there was other Bloods from C Street. Matter of fact, somebody hop in the comments that really knows and let me know. I didn't remember running across other Bloods. I think that was just Northerners, right? But I mean, who knows? Could have been, right? Could have been. We were kids, man, just kids. Um, and it was all red, right? And so, but this dude Jeff was a Crip. I'm like, man, how you become a Crip? He goes, oh, I went for a summer down south with my family. I spent the summer down there. My family's from Grape Street Crips. I was like, okay, you know, I heard of them, right? That's one of the more prominent names back then that you would hear. But you don't run into people that are Grape Street Crips. You just hear, you know, that there is a thing called Grape Street Crip. This fool was a Crip. And he's like, I claim C Street though, because I'm from C Street. So I don't claim Grape Street, but I became a Crip going down to see my family in Grape Street. My family are Crips. So I came back from that summer a Crip, but I rock with the cats that I grew up with. And I was like, this is confusing. But again, and I've said it many times, we were kids, man. We were young, right? And what really mattered was if you was with it or not. And I'll be honest, I never saw Jeff get tested. Um, I'm gonna assume that he was with it because he was from C Street, and those that I knew from C Street that got tested was with it back then. Um, I don't know. I don't know whatever happened with the dude. I ran across him in juvenile hall probably twice on two different trips. He was a great celly. We was cool as cellies. Um, we won little root beer floats because our cell was clean, was dope, right? We, you know, sheets tucked in, blanket tucked in. We have pictures on the wall. Used to put the little towel diagonally across the back, the corner at the edge of the bed, and even get some like flower or something, like a dead flower, and put it right there, and um, try to dress it up, right? His Bible was blue, my Bible was red. You know what I mean? But he was cool. He was cool as a celly, in the hall. And that was kind of that. I saw him again on another trip, and we weren't cellies, but just seeing him in passing, and then that was it. I never saw him again. I never really heard about him again. Um, a lot of handful of cats. I think they went to Arizona Boys Ranch. Um, I think Woody might have went to Black Vision Quest or something. I think so. I don't know. Again, Woody, if you're watching, tap in. But I think, he did. Uh, and Cass kind of just moved on, right? And this is early, like this is A unit in juvenile hall, right? Like we're kids. That's the younger unit. And so fast forward, Wino and I wound up going to Delancey Street in New Mexico because they stopped sending people to Arizona because people were dying. So we got shot out there. We were the only two cats from the Bay Area that were out there. We was rocking. Got into a couple of those scuffles with some people. There were some lessons to be handed out, but that was my dude, man. That was my dude, and stuff happened with his family, and he had to leave. Right, he had to leave, and that was that. I saw him like I think once or twice after that, and then he wound up getting killed. I think while I was in prison. So yeah, man, that's it. A little bit of history for you guys. That's all, right? Mexican blood, Mexican Crip, Mexican Northerners, all in the same spot. That's the 80's for you in the Bay. You never really know, right? All that really matters is if you're rocking or not. So, anyways, help us move with excellence. That's what homies do. Help yourself at the same time because you're worth it. Help your community because they need you. Tap in, tons of other content. And if you want to see me touch on something, man, leave a comment. And if I can, I will. If I got something to add to the conversation, of course. Take care, guys.